Okay, let me just weigh in on this conversation. Now, you guys know I mostly talk about the business, financial, passion topics. But as an American citizen and also as a Muslim American citizen, I feel I have to say something. And here it goes. One problem we have in humanity is, hear me out on this one. When someone from a group, race, or you call it, does a criminal act, everybody that fits in that group suffers to an extent. I'm going to say it again. When someone of a group commits something, a criminal act, someone in that, everybody, mostly people in that group from outside groups, everybody thinks that they would do the same thing. And I'm going to give some proof today. But before I give the proof, I want to say that is the most closed-minded, ignorant thinking that a human can have in their life. And it's so, let me just break it down on a spiritual level. Every human being has a different fingerprint. Every child has a different characteristic about them. Just because they're born from the same mother and father doesn't mean that those two children are going to be alike. You may have the organized child that always does things, perfect. No, not perfect, but, they plan their day when they become teenagers. They don't get in trouble. They do their classwork. Then you could have a rebel, a person that just lives life on the edge, comes from the same parent group in the same household. So if one of those children were to do a criminal act, doesn't mean that the others are going to do it. Doesn't mean that it came from the mother and father. Every human being possesses something in them that is unique to themselves. I just want to say that. So this Muslim shooting happened. Let me just talk on that just for a little bit. And let me just tell you this. I'm a guy that respects others' religions. If you came to me and said you're Buddhist, I'm not going to ask you, why are you Buddhist? I get asked that a lot. Or why are you Muslim? If you're a Christian, you came to me and said, hey, I'm Christian. Well, one, I wouldn't ask you your religion anyway. I think that's weird. But if you told me that, I wouldn't say, why are you Christian? Because a belief is something that everybody has, whether you're atheist, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jew, whatever. If you practice that belief, then that's a whole nother thing. Because some people have beliefs, but they don't practice it. Some of us are only religious on Fridays, Sundays, Easter, Christmas, other religious holidays, Hanukkah. I mean, we all suffer from that. I am definitely not one to be on any religious magazine. So let me get into it. So 9/11, when it happened, the individuals that participated in 9/11 the night before were out drinking, getting drunk. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the picture is these like religious jihadis that are going out and they're doing these crimes, right? And they're out praying the night. A religious person seemed like they would do something like this. They would pray the night before, do the dhikr beads, which is what we call, kind of like Catholic beads would count. You say Mary, Mary. I know what you guys say. But, they're doing these things, right? They weren't doing that. They were out getting drunk because now they have to, they're probably real terrified at this point. So does this sound like a guy that's about to kill himself and have all these virgins or whatever they claim they're going to have? Does that sound like a religious person to you? There is a drink called Captagon that ISIS takes. The fighters take it. Now, isn't the stereotype of ISIS, we fight in the name of God, La ilaha illallah, which means there is one God. And Allah means God, by the way. It's Arabic for God. Christians, Arabs call God Allah. Everyone's asking me, who is this Allah figure? We say God, other people will say Jehovah. I mean, it's the same thing, right? So, I just kissed the mic right there. So let's keep it going. Cap the gun to fight. But hold on. Aren't you fighting in the name of God? Isn't God protecting you? Why are you taking pills to fight? Where else did that sound familiar? When I was in Somalia, the Somali warlords had this drug called chat, something of the nature, but they would chew it and they would fight all night. They needed stimulants to fight. Stimulants. Does that sound religious to you? Most of the fighters for ISIS were outcasts, were men who their own families say they didn't pray. They're not religious, but now here's the extreme. They're going over to countries, and the countries that wanted protection, like Iraq, because you got to understand, these people didn't just say, hey, come on, ISIS, get whatever. No, they needed protection, so they said, hey, we can't get it from the government that the U.S. gave us, because the U.S. is going on about their business. The troops are gone, so ISIS take care of us. Because in Iraq, they thought it was going to be, being that the president was Shiite, they thought, oh, maybe his intentions are to eliminate all the Sunnis. Who knew? But now that ISIS is in power, extreme, they don't have a balance. They want no music, no this, no walking with this thing. We're going to burn you on fire. These are nuts. And that's the profile. Young guys who were rappers, who didn't have any type of family. The same reason why men join gangs. They don't have any type of family, any type of support unit. So they go around people that support them. And there have been a lot of people who have went to ISIS who have defected and came back. They said these guys are nuts. Does that sound like religious people to you? These are not religious men. But just because they wear the flag, the color, the name, everybody that's Muslim, everybody's in a freaking shock, like, oh my gosh. Black men are getting killed by cops now. Now, I'm not saying that, cops are going out there killing black men. No, I'm not on that. But why? Could it be that over half of the murders that happen in the United States are by black men? That's not a made-up statistic. I know some people say, well, you can talk about Muslims, but don't talk about black people. Black people get real sensitive on that. Look, talk about the truth. So when they see a black man and he's hostile, he's not, listening to the commands, lay down. No, I'm not laying down. Oh, now he's hostile. Now he looks like one of the guys that may kill us or may have a gun. So the cops are on, they're afraid now. Like, maybe he will kill us. So we're not even going to get to that level. I have to go back to my family, so I'm going to kill him. Or I could be frustrated with all the black men that did do something bad, so I'm going to take it out on him. Who knows? It's the same thing. The same Muslims who wear their the garment, which they don't have to wear. That's an Arab dress. But when they wear it and they go on a plane, they're thinking like, oh my gosh, people are going to single us out. What about Catholic priests? There are statistics that say, one, there are over 500,000 priests around the world. And there are statistics that say that 1 in 50 Catholic priests is a pedophile. There are I had a guy to come over to my house recently, do a floor, and he's living in this small town in Minnesota. And one thing he said was, because he lived in Minneapolis. I said, how do you like living in a small town? He said, really, I don't, man, because, everyone's in your business and things like that. And he said, let me just tell you a funny thing that's going on. So what's that? There have a picture of a priest said that, hey, if you have been, harmed in any type of way, molested or anything by this guy, let us know. But the guy is not in prison. So I mean, in another statistics, it says that most mass shootings are committed by white men. So every white man with a bob cut or just looks, in a stare thing, could be on meth, you don't know what it is. Are we going to say, oh my gosh, let's control this person. Let's get out of the area. We're panicking because we think that anyone that looks like someone that commits a crime is guilty. Let me tell you something. I worked in a criminally insane institution. When things would pop off, they would call me and some more people to say, hey, can you calm this down? Black, white, Jew, Gentile, all different types of people possess crazy. And you never know where crazy is. Right? So let's stop trying to predict behavior. Give the government back the power to listen to your phone. I know you want to have rights. I don't want the government listening to my phone call. Well, yeah, we don't either, but we need the government to make sure that crazy doesn't be crazy again. What's sad in the world is the Catholic priests that do the correct thing are upset at the guys that give them a bad name. The black men in America that do the right thing are upset at black men who don't do the right thing. The white men who are working to support their family and out there and going to church on Sunday and doing what they have to do are upset at nuts who go out and commit mass shootings. Right? The Muslims are upset at ISIS and Taliban and anybody that wants to go and fight against the government because now we get eyes watched on us if we're some like evil being. And it's not true. I know great Catholics. I know great white men. I know great black men. I know great Muslims. The mentality to profile someone without listening to them or without hearing them speak is wrong. So when I see people like Donald Trump, who's supposed to be a ruler of this nation, who doesn't have the mentality to see the whole picture, and he's trying to put a Band-Aid on the problem. Let's ban all Muslims. Well, they say, let's ban all white men that commit mass shootings, that have bob cuts or that look like they have been to the mental institution once. Let's put them in an area. Let's put all black men who couldn't commit crimes because they wear the same skin and they listen to the same music or maybe have the same culture, they're going to do it. Put them over there. Put all Catholic priests, tear down, put a padlock on all Catholic churches across the world. So no more children can be hurt. You have to deal with that situation and not condemn everybody else because someone else did something. Right? And I don't know where this mentality came from, but it's a bad mentality. It's a mentality that keeps you on your toes, always on the lookout, always, not trusting people. And just because someone doesn't look like you, they're dangerous. Just because they don't have my ideology, they're dangerous. They're Buddhists. They don't worship my God. Oh my God, stay away from them. They're Hindu. They put maroon paint on their faces during their festival holidays. They worship the devil. We all come from the same manufacturer, people. I just said that totally wrong. We all come from the same manufacturer, people. So that manufacturer has given us guidance. We're living life, at our own terms. We're learning. Some are learning. Some commit suicide. Some commit mass murders. We're going to have that. That's part of life. But let's live life. If you see something that is wrong and you know somebody in your community, if you know a priest is doing that, turn them in. If you know a Muslim that is about to commit murder and is always going over to Syria and Iraq, speak up, Muslims. Right? If you know that you have a crazy white guy in your family and you say this guy has guns and he's packing them up, turn him in. I don't care if he's your son. Black people, This no snitch thing that you talk about is stupid. Stupid. If you have a drug dealer, if you know somebody is out committing crime as they kill people, call the hotline and turn them in. That's how we can really fight crime. The cops have to go through all these, pages and of clues and all this other stuff when sometimes our family knows the answer and have known the answer for quite some time. Like with the shooting in San Bernardino, I'm pretty sure the family knew what these guys were doing. I mean, you see signs. Parents see signs when their kids are, withdrawing themselves and they, maybe they go out and buy some things or looking at things or talking certain ways. You know that. Be observant. That's the best policing that one can do. So I'm going to leave this as this. We're all one people. It's not about, I have this flag on, but it's not about this flag. I have a problem with it. It's not about this flag. It's not about the flag in Paris. It's about one people, one nation. Actually, am I about to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Under God. But that's what it's about. And nobody's better than anyone else. No ideology is better than another ideology. So I'm going to leave it as that. Hope I didn't bore you guys. Hopefully everything is going great in your life. And I just wanted to get that off my chest. Now it's back to business. I don't like talking about things, but sometimes I guess it's got to come in and try to cheer everybody up. So with that said, good people, thank you. And until next time, signing off.